If you grew up in America in the 70s or 80s, you were taught a very specific set of rules about food and weight loss. Rules that were delivered with total confidence by doctors, nutritionists, government guidelines, and every magazine cover in the checkout line. Eat less fat. Count your calories. If you're not losing weight, you're eating too much. Exercise more. A calorie is a calorie. Just have a little willpower. I was taught these rules in medical school. I repeated them to patients for years. And I am here to tell you, on the other side of 20 years of practice and my own personal health crisis at 49, that a significant chunk of what we were all taught is either incomplete, outdated, or flatly wrong. And if you're over 50 and still following those rules, they may be the exact reason you can't lose weight. Hi, I'm Dr. James Miller, family physician. Today we're going to go through the greatest hits of 80s diet mythology, and I'm going to tell you what the science actually says now, and more importantly, what that means for your body specifically after 50. Let's start with the big one. Fat is the enemy. This was the dominant nutritional belief from roughly 1980 through the late 1990s. It came from early research connecting dietary fat, particularly saturated fat, to heart disease. The government issued dietary guidelines telling Americans to reduce fat intake. The food industry responded by creating an entire category of low-fat and fat-free products. What happened? Americans reduced fat consumption, and obesity rates roughly doubled between 1980 and 2000. Here's what went wrong. When you remove fat from food, it tastes terrible. So manufacturers replaced the fat with sugar, refined starch, and various additives to restore palatability. Low-fat yogurt, fat-free salad dressing, reduced fat crackers, all of them loaded with added sugar or refined carbohydrates. Sugar and refined carbs raise your blood glucose quickly. That triggers an insulin response. Insulin is a storage hormone. It directs energy into your fat cells and blocks fat from being released. High, frequent insulin spikes, driven by a diet full of low-fat processed foods, is one of the core metabolic drivers of weight gain and insulin resistance. We essentially swapped dietary fat, which, particularly the unsaturated kind, is actually beneficial, for the thing that was actually causing the most damage: refined sugar and processed carbohydrates. After 50, this matters even more. Insulin sensitivity naturally decreases with age. A diet high in refined carbs hits harder, and the metabolic consequences are more severe. Myth number 2. A calorie is a calorie. This sounds scientific. It's not. Or more precisely, it's true in a physics lab and incomplete in a human body. Different macronutrients do different things beyond just providing energy. Protein requires significantly more energy to digest and metabolize than fat or carbohydrates. This is called the thermic effect of food. Protein also triggers satiety hormones in a way that carbohydrates and fats don't. Fiber slows digestion and blunts blood sugar responses. The same number of calories from processed food versus whole food produces meaningfully different hormonal and metabolic responses. If you eat 400 calories of plain chicken breast and vegetables versus 400 calories of crackers and low-fat dip, your body does not respond identically. Your hunger, your blood sugar, your insulin levels, your energy, all different. Beyond food quality, the calorie model completely ignores what's happening on the other side of the equation. Your metabolic rate is not fixed. It adapts. When you chronically restrict calories, your body slows metabolism, reduces thyroid hormone output, drops body temperature, decreases spontaneous movement, all to compensate. This is why people who severely restrict calories lose weight initially and then plateau no matter how little they eat. Their body has simply adjusted downward to match. After 50, this adaptive response is even more aggressive. Your body is very good at defending its current weight. Myth number 3. Skip meals to lose weight. Skipping breakfast was practically a folk remedy for weight loss in the 80s. The logic seemed simple. fewer eating occasions, fewer calories, less weight. What actually happens? When you skip meals, blood sugar drops, cortisol rises, and by the time you do eat, you're so hungry that you overconsume. More importantly, skipping protein-containing meals accelerates muscle breakdown. Your body starts cannibalizing muscle tissue for energy because it has no dietary protein available. This is catastrophic after 50, when you're already losing muscle to aging. I've had patients who were barely eating, genuinely, maybe 1,200 calories a day, and couldn't understand why they couldn't lose weight. The answer was that they had so little muscle left from years of restrictive dieting that their metabolism had slowed to a crawl. They had dieted themselves into a metabolic corner. Myth number 4. Cardio is the king of weight loss. Americans in the 80s discovered aerobics, Jane Fonda, step classes, the treadmill, and cardio became synonymous with weight loss. Cardio is excellent for cardiovascular health. I recommend it. But as a weight loss tool, particularly after 50, it is significantly less powerful than most people believe, and far less powerful than resistance training. Here's why. Cardio burns calories during the activity. The moment you stop, the calorie burn largely stops too, and your body adapts to cardio over time. The same 30-minute walk that burned 200 calories in month 1 burns fewer calories in month 6 because your body has become more efficient at it. Resistance training, lifting weights, doing body weight exercises, using resistance bands, does something different. It builds and maintains muscle. And muscle burns calories around the clock, even when you're sitting on the couch watching television. 1 pound of muscle burns roughly 3 times as many calories at rest as 1 pound of fat. After 50, the number 1 metabolic priority is maintaining muscle mass, not running more miles, not taking more spin classes, building and keeping muscle. That means resistance training, period. The irony is that the people who need this message most, women over 50 who have been doing cardio religiously for years and can't understand why the scale won't move, are often the most resistant to it. They think lifting weights will make them bulky. It won't. It will make them leaner, stronger, and metabolically healthier. Myth number 5. You just need more willpower. This one is the most damaging, because it turns a complex physiological problem into a character flaw. When someone can't lose weight despite genuine effort, the 80s answer was, they're not trying hard enough, they must be cheating, they don't want it badly enough. The reality is that hunger, satiety, metabolism, fat storage, and energy regulation are governed by hormones and biology that operate largely outside conscious control. Leptin, ghrelin, insulin, cortisol, thyroid hormones, these are not things you can simply override with determination. When someone over 50 is struggling to lose weight despite doing what they've been told to do, the appropriate clinical question is, what is happening hormonally and metabolically? Not, what is wrong with this person's willpower? I see this play out in my practice constantly. Patients who have been told implicitly or explicitly that their weight is a personal failure, who carry shame about something that is, at its root, a physiological problem shaped by decades of incorrect dietary guidance, a food environment designed to make them eat more, and biological changes that happen to everyone with age. So what does the updated picture look like? Instead of low-fat everything, eat real fat, olive oil, avocado, nuts, fatty fish. Reduce the processed carbohydrates and added sugars that were put in to replace the fat. Instead of calorie counting as your primary tool, focus on food quality and protein intake. Get enough protein at every meal. This is the single highest leverage nutritional change you can make after 50. Instead of skipping meals, eat regularly, with protein anchoring every meal, to keep blood sugar stable and muscle breakdown minimal. Instead of cardio as your main exercise, add resistance training 2 or 3 times a week. Keep the walking, add the weights. Instead of blaming willpower, look at what's happening physiologically. Sleep, stress, hormones, these all need to be addressed. None of this is complicated. Most of it is the opposite of what the 80s told you, and it works dramatically better, especially in a body over 50. Next video, I'm going to show you exactly what I eat in a day. Real food, real grocery store, what it actually looks like to put these principles into practice. I'll see you there.